So not long after I uploaded my previous video, I noticed that the achievements for Tomb Raider 4 to 6 had popped up on True Achievements. And I thought, that's weird. We didn't get the achievements for the first game until a lot closer to the release. Then someone commented on that video saying that they'd been leaked, which I guess makes sense. I don't know why or what's going on there, but that's probably why. But I went through them and wrote down some funny ones, some ones that I'm pretty sure I know how to get. And that comment actually pointed something else out about Angel of Darkness, that it does look like some of the things we want are happening, but we'll get there. There are some other achievements that I didn't write down that I had thoughts about how you could potentially get them, but I wasn't entirely sure in any way, shape or form, so I just left them. But anyway, for Tomb Raider 4, The Last Revelation, the first one I wrote down is "What's up, Doc?" And that achievement is to lie down beside your predecessor, and it's in the Cambodia level at the very, very beginning of the game. It's the tutorial level. And I think it's pretty commonly known that I think it's a spike. There's a spike trap in one of the rooms that you go through, and there's a skeleton on it. And if you look at the skeleton, it's got a whip and a fedora. So I'm guessing the achievement wants you to lie down next to poor old Dr. Jones's skeleton. Then there's time to finish what Carter started, which is to finish the Times exclusive level. And I was wondering if that, I didn't mention it in the video, but I was wondering if that was going to be in here. I didn't play that level until maybe about 10, 11 years ago. If you want to, you can download it from Stella's Tomb Raider site. I will put a link, if I can find the specific page, in the description, because you don't need the main game to run it. It's a standalone. You could just jump in and run that. It was released as a 50-year anniversary thing for the discovery of Tutankhamun's tomb, I think. But yeah, it's a small little standalone thing. Nothing really stands out from it, but of these 3 games, it's the only sort of expansion pack, if you will. The first 3 games each had one. And then after that, none really did, except for this one. The Times it's a British newspaper. So it was a tie-in with a British newspaper to, have this level or whatever. I have no idea really what the Times have to do with it, if maybe they sponsored the creation of it or something like that, but yeah. And then, because I was talking about Senet, there is an achievement related to that called Croft Gambit. Finish Tomb of Semet by winning the Senet game. So that's annoying because, again, I have absolutely no idea how to play that game. And thinking about it, once I've done this, I'm going to look up the rules of Senet and write them down somewhere, and then I will put in here the clip of me reading the rules to Senet. And if someone can figure out exactly how the hell I'm supposed to play that game, I would love that. The cuts are probably very obvious, but I'm too lazy to re-record everything again. So this is probably just going to be cut into the last little clip to say, I'm stupid. We do know more about Senet and its play. I'm just generally talking about the board. We do know in Senet, with those 30 spaces, you have some game pieces. I think it might be 4, and the point of the game is to get all 4 of your pieces past that 30 mark. And how many spaces you move is based on how, what you roll on that weird dice thing that I don't understand. But I've seen in the Tomb Raider variation, I've seen some weird movements, and you can also knock the other player back. But again, apart from that, I'm not really, I mean, I'm not really sure. I think my issue is the dice thing, which apparently, looking into it, like, they used to use sticks, and you'd have 4, and you could roll up to 4 using those sticks. I'm not entirely sure how they used them, but that's what they used in Egypt. That is not the case in Tomb Raider. It's that spinny thing. So I think my whole issue with Senet is that spinny thing. This all comes down to that damn spinny thing. Oh, fuck that spinny thing. Fuck it. Anyway. There is, I don't have a lot of achievements listed. It's very, you know, it's just these. Tomb Raider 5 now, so Chronicles. This reminded me, no, this achievement reminded me of something. It was fail compilation. Watch all the scenes of young Lara's failures, which I don't recall there being anything specific there. So I think it's just like find all the ways to die as young Lara, which is lovely. But yeah, that achievement reminded me, oh my god, there's that scene. And there's also all the Von Croy being a goddamn creep at the beginning of Last Revelation. Just, yeah. And then there's one last one, which I'm not entirely sure how you go about getting it, but you can make assumptions. But it's just a weird one. It's called You Remembered, and its description is just Happy Birthday, Lara. And so my assumption would be play the game on the 14th of February, or the release day. But that one's specifically tied to Chronicles. So I don't know if maybe it requires you to do something specific and we just don't know yet. Or maybe it literally does just want you to play Chronicles on the 14th of February, Lara's birthday. I don't know. Oh, there's another one actually that I didn't notice. Sweet Dreams, get the Unreachable Medipack. We're back here again. Although the other 3 from the first, second, and third game, I knew about all of those. I did not at any point ever know that there was one in Chronicles. Granted, like when I would watch speed runs, that's why my memory of those 3 games was so good. I would watch a lot of speed runs of people playing those games, so I know things about them, and you know, I guess you could say lore about some of the random stuff in the games, whereas you don't see as many about Last Revelation and Chronicles. But yeah, I have no idea. I probably should have looked that up before I made a video. Kind of stupid of me not to. But yeah, I don't know if they've done something to make the Medipack unreachable. So I don't know if this is something that was in there before, if it is actually an unreachable med kit or Medipack, or if there's some weird circumstance about it. I don't know. I really don't know. Then we have the Angel of Darkness ones, and this one is one that points towards them adding stuff back in. It's parkour. Finish the training in the back alleys. Now that doesn't mean for sure that they've put that training area in. There is a kind of tutorial that was left in the game. But it makes it sound more likely that they did leave that training area in. And I also had thought earlier, I hope they get rid of the stamina bar and the whole upgrading. I feel stronger now. my legs feel stronger now. Like that, really just something that people took the piss out of, wasn't it? And it was annoying, and it made you super stressed out when you're climbing. I get what they were going for. Laura's a bit out of practice, so she's not as great. You know, she needs to work back up to where she was, but in execution, it just didn't work. Though I haven't written it down here, but there was actually a funny achievement for Angel of Darkness, which was to collect all of the chocolate bars throughout the game, but don't eat any, which I thought was quite funny, because there was one for collecting all the med kits in the game as well, but it didn't specify anything. It was just collect them all. You could use them just fine, but the chocolate one, it was like, don't eat any of that chocolate. Like that AI that's playing through Tomb Raider that has thought that Magnum ammo is chocolate bars. If that AI knew about Angel of Darkness, it would lose its shit. Crime spree, and this just made me laugh. Be rude to Mademoiselle Carrier and clean out her apartment before the police show up on the floor. Which, Carrier is, you have to talk to her, but there is a way that Angel of Darkness works where you get dialogue options, and there are dialogue trees that lead to specific things. At one point you can actually get yourself killed by picking the wrong dialogue option, but that's later in the game. So you can either be nice to someone and try and sort of coax information out of them, or you can be a rude bitch. And that's the situation here. Von Croy sent you to Carvier before he died, spoiler, because he thought that she would be able to give you information about all the stuff that's going on. If you're rude to her, she'll be like, well, fuck you, lock herself in a room and call the police, and then you've got to like run around the apartment and try and find I think it's a notebook or something, and get out before the police show up. But if you're nice to her, she will hand that over. And then eventually, I think she does have, I don't know if she does call the police or if the police are alerted or whatever, but it's just the fact that the game, for no reason whatsoever, is like, here's an achievement for treating her like a total dick and then robbing her blind of all her possessions. And then there's Darwin Awards. Find all the silliest ways to die, and looking at that one and through some of the other achievements listed, I'm like, why is everything such a giant meme? And also, what do they mean, all the silliest ways to die? What constitutes as a silly way to die? You know? But that's all the ones I've written down. But the other one, there is definitely absolutely nothing different here. My phone totally didn't just stop recording and tell me I was out of space. Anyway, the comment on my previous video pointed out the ability to dual wield weapons and things like that was seemingly being added back in, and that is because of an achievement which requires you to pick up, it's got weird wording, but what I think it's telling you is to pick up two specific weapons. So you have two pairs, you have a pair of each weapon, which would imply dual wielding. Dual wielding is a thing we know was originally supposed to be added into the game, but wasn't implemented in the end because they didn't have time. The same is with another achievement, which is for killing a guard or incapacitating a guard whilst leaning around a wall, which is another thing that was even shown in a trailer but never implemented into the game. So they definitely are adding things back into the game. Let's just hope that they really have fixed a lot of what's going on with Angel of Darkness and the other issues. I didn't see anything specifically stating Curtis though, which is interesting. Obviously he's still going to be there. They can't just cut him out of the game. That would be weird. But I am very interested to see how he'll look remastered, considering how different Lara looks, and you know, just what differences will be made there. So hopefully we'll get more updates and more trailers and stuff soon, but we didn't really get that many for 1 to 3 before it came out. So February needs to hurry the hell up and get here. Where are we now? We're October. It's not that far off. But I guess I'll keep screaming into a camera if more information becomes available. As and when that happens, I guess.